All right. Welcome, everyone, to the All About Nothing podcast kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me across all of social media at Barrett Gruber. With me is host of the podcast Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks, Mr. Bill Kimler. Follow him across all social media at Political Bill SC. How are you, Bill?
I'm doing super fantastic, Mr. Barrett.
Was it a good weekend?
It was a phenomenal weekend, but I'm a little distracted tonight.
Why are we distracted?
I want to just tell you the commitment that I have to this show right here, the All About Nothing kind of daily show. It's not even that. It's twice a week. Is it even count as kind of daily? No.
It's semi-daily. Bi-daily. Nope.
No, it's Monday, Wednesday daily. That's all we got. And sometimes it's not even that when you forget to show up for a show, but we won't cover that at ground again.
Okay.
Tonight, I am missing a blacked out Monday night football game between the Eagles and Packers.
Do you have YouTube as well?
I do have YouTube TV, and I am forced into the dark recesses of the internet to catch my game because this is the only reason I have YouTube TV. I watch nothing else on that thing except Philadelphia Eagles football. Maybe some other football if it's on, but
can I just tell you that this is the one national negotiation that I am the most concerned about right now.
Yeah,
getting YouTube TV and ABC Disney to come together and figure out how to make this work.
Well, this is absolute bullshit because I'm paying Google to negotiate this.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, advertisers are paying Disney for their shit to be shown on national television.
Yeah.
Both sides are not living up to their end of the bargains to those who have paid money for their services.
Yeah.
So they need to figure this out and get the stuff back on the air.
Yeah. No.
Before I realize maybe I don't need YouTube TV or Disney all that much.
No, you're absolutely. I think you're absolutely correct. I think it's absurd that we are still dealing with basically what is just utter just bullshit nonsense. I mean, because ultimately it doesn't matter what YouTube TV and Disney and ABC negotiate and come up with on their new contract. They're just going to pass the cost on to us, right? So
yeah,
what difference does it make? I don't get it.
Yeah, but anyhow, I don't know what agenda you have for today, but we can talk about this past weekend, the whole show.
Okay.
I want to start with your episode of the All About Nothing podcast with that the murder mystery gals, and I forget their name and their show, but you did a crossover that got released last week or this week. We released today, right?
Jen and Cam with the Our True Crimes podcast. Yeah.
Amazing episode. I was riveted. This was somebody who got murdered that you actually knew peripherally, like you weren't best friends with this individual, but the fact that you've met this person and your wife was a student of this lady, right?
Yeah, ex-wife. Yeah, yeah.
This was an entire murder mystery episode about that individual. It was riveting.
Yeah, it still shocks me that of all the people that you would think would potentially have that sort of thing happen to them, Jennifer Wilson was not one of them. Like,
yeah.
She was extremely intelligent. She was very well liked by
a Rhodes Scholar. Yeah, that's a huge deal.
She brought in more than $600 million in grants to the University of South Carolina.
I think it was 600,000. Was it 600 million?
You're right.
I don't know.
It was 600,000.
Yeah. No, let's not give her like over $500 million worth of credit there. I mean, but still, lovely lady.
It's a considerable amount of money. And
of course.
She was tenured after only 5 years at the university. I mean, that's an accomplishment.
But I tell you, the whole episode made me mad. Like I was getting angrier and angrier as time went on about the guy who practically got away with it, and just the bullshit justice system that just shrugged their shoulders and looked away.
They if you listen to their podcast, there is an underlying theme to what seems like, I called it, law enforcement neglect in actually adjudicating these cases. And we even mentioned the idea that maybe in some cases some people might see vigilantism as a source of finding that justice,
right? Oh, that story of that lady's ex-boyfriend during the trial lunging after the murderer and then spending the night in jail for contempt of court as a result. I'd be like, yeah, that would have been me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have missed. No bailiff would have gotten in my way, right? I would have found the angle and did the deed. hats off to you. That was one of your finest episodes. Hats
honestly,
off.
I think that's one of the things like you have children and I have children, and what lengths would I go to?
We don't have children together, just to be clear.
Not yet. But what lengths would we go to protect them from potentially harm coming to them? What lengths would we go to potentially not after protection is no longer available, but to have to
it's a difference between protection and vengeance, right?
Yeah,
so what would you do for vengeance? I don't know. Literally, I don't know what I would do. But protection, having heard stories like that of domestic violence, of stalkers, of crazy boyfriends who don't take no for an answer. I've got a grown daughter. She's already married to a wonderful man, could not be happier. But you've got younger daughters who are going to be heading into that realm. You do not let those bad signals go unnoticed. You do not shrug your shoulders and go, well, he hit her just that one time.
Oh, I wouldn't.
There's zero tolerance there.
No.
These stories like this, there's no room for doubt.
See, and
none.
that's I think of it as a curse and as well as a blessing, is that my powers of observation, if I even had the hint that there was the possibility that was going to happen with someone that one of my daughters might get involved, hell, my son too. There's always the possibility that there's someone that's abusive. That doesn't have to just be a man to female. Females can be abusive too. But the lengths that I would go to protect them, I'm not going to kill somebody, but I sure enough might maim them. And I might have had a history of a sack party or two in my past that, we're well outside a sack party.
What's that?
A sack party. Well, what I've heard.
What sacks are you talking about here? I mean, I've got a visual in my head that is not pleasant.
What I have heard is, let's say, in the dark, someone's leaving their car to go to their house. A sack potentially gets thrown over them, and they are, let's just say, attention is given to specific parts of their body that may leave them unable to make it back to their house or to their car.
Is this like that scene from Full Metal Jacket where they take Gomer Pyle, they kind of force him down in the bed, and they just take turns slamming him in the gut with sacks full of soap, right, to get him to straighten up?
Code Red. It's somebody ordered a Code Red.
Right, or a code Red. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're goddamn right, I did. I love that show. That movie.
Absolutely adored Kim or Jen and Cam coming on the show with us. They're going to release that episode on their podcast platform as well.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you release a video of that, or was it just the audio?
Yeah, it's on YouTube as well.
I got to go check that out. I want to see what they look like and how they interact. They seem like they were a lot of fun.
They are. Cam is a trip. I love Jen. Love Cam, both of them. They were actually introduced to me. Okay, so do you remember the episode that we did with Cole and Lori from Missouri? Cole was the one that he had gone viral on TikTok predicting the election and everything. He's a 13-year-old kid. We let him.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember him. Him and his mom were on the line with you.
So Kim, Kim actually introduced me to Lori introduced me to Jen. And then Jen and I worked out the whole doing a crossover event. So out of Missouri. But one of the cool ties about the Jennifer Wilson story is that she is also a graduate of Mizzou. So she went to the University of Missouri and then came to the University of South Carolina. So there was that regional connection as well.
Yeah.
So,
well,
really
let me recommend to anybody who's watching or listening to us right now, just turn us off and go download that episode. It's worth it. Really good. It's a lot more interesting than anything we could possibly talk about tonight.
Well, before we sell ourselves short, I do have a couple of announcements that I have to I promised that I would throw out there.
All right, then we'll talk about my Saturday. So you can do your announcements.
The Midlands is coming together for a vital cause on Sunday, November 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. Residents across the region are invited to take part in the Midlands Community Food Drive. It's a curbside drop-off event happening at 5 convenient locations around the Midlands. With the suspension of the federal SNAP program, benefits in South Carolina beginning on November 1st, more than 556,000 South Carolinians face increased food insecurities. Local pantries are preparing for a surge in demand, and that community and the community's help is urgently needed. Residents can drop off at any of the designated drop-offs between 1 and 4 on November 16th to donate non-perishable food items. Volunteers will collect the donations directly from vehicles. No need to get out. All items go directly to local food pantries serving families. I'll put it all in the show notes, but those are the 5 locations. You got the South Carolina Democratic Party, Rehoboth United Methodist Center, North Star Center of Hope, Radius Church, and Altitude Trampoline Park on Garner's Ferry. So that's wanted to make sure to get that out there. They asked if I would do that, so it is done. Priest Jacobs, SoulHAUS Sessions comes up next Wednesday. I'll be there. You should go as well. University of South Carolina Koger Center for the Arts doors open at 5. Conversation with DéLana Dameron starts at 6 p.m. Tickets can be found at Preach Jacobs on Instagram, or you can check the show notes. So there it is. Anyway, yeah, it was. I went camping this weekend up at Devil's Fork.
That's why you didn't respond to my texts on Saturday.
It was
and Sunday, man. You were just non-communicado.
I successfully disconnected from basically everything outside.
I couldn't do it. I would have the shakes. I would have the shivers. I would have nausea. I'd be having a migraine. I'd be looking for emergency treatment. Get me Wi-Fi right away. Couldn't do it.
It's always nice to be able to disconnect.
No, it's not. It's nerve-wracking. It's anxiety inducing. Do you have any idea what you missed out on Sunday? Do you have any idea?
Let's see. On Sundays, the Falcons lost to Indianapolis Colts.
You missed out on that as it happened. You know, find out later.
I got to listen to it on the drive home. I was extremely disappointed.
Who did they lose to?
Indianapolis Colts, which are
okay. I expected that. Oh, but it was the comeback. They were winning, right? And they lost it at the end. Oh, I read about that.
It's the same thing that just keeps happening. Falcons just keep losing the games that they should win, and but this weekend is unfortunately the Carolina Panthers and Falcons game. So I am.
Who do you got to bet with?
Zach.
Oh my.
Yeah. See,
and it involves coloring facial hair, does it not?
My beard. If the Falcons lose to the Panthers the second time this season, then yeah, my beard is going to be. Zach is going to have it bleached white, and then it is going to be colored baby blue or whatever the Panthers color. That's it. And I don't know how long it's going to take for this stuff to wash out. I don't know.
It will be my favorite episode of the Kind of Daily Show. I am going to be giggling like a little kid the entire 45 minutes we're on the air. There will be no stopping.
It's well deserved too, because ultimately, look, here's the thing. I have made this bet, not this particular bet, but bets with Zach every single year for the last 9 years. And that is that the Falcons will beat the Panthers or the Panthers will beat the Falcons. You got to win both. You got to win both games. And I have won every single time, or every single time we've made the bet. So Zach had to shave his beard completely off.
Yeah, but he bleaches his hair for free. So what fun is that? What kind of trauma is he experiencing? He does that stuff for fun. So when he loses, you got to give him something he doesn't want to do.
Well, he had a Halloween costume, so we delayed it 1 year because the Panthers and the Falcons played twice before Halloween 1 year. So I allowed him to keep his beard for his Halloween costume, which he dressed up as Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones.
Thrones
or whatever.
Game of Thorns. Boy, you sound like an old fuddy.
So he did, and then another year, I got to take a picture of him wearing a Matt Ryan jersey, which is still my profile picture of him on my phone. So every time he calls, it's him wearing. But the same goes for I did the bet with Villardo last year or 2 years ago, where the Falcons beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I have Matt Villardo looking very sad wearing a Falcons jersey. So these are the dumb bets we make. I don't usually lose. Unfortunately, I did. And also, by the way, a comment from Fury friend Pixie, who says that it is an achievement in today's world if we are able to disconnect even for a day from all the digital stuff. So I suggest you try, Bill.
Can't do it. You know what? That day will be the day I'm in a hospital unconscious.
That's fair.
That'll be the day. So I'll enjoy it then.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
So let me tell you about my Saturday.
Please.
I got to tell you, this has been a year of blessings for me. Truly. Yeah. I mean, I was ordained an elder of my church. Daughter got married. A couple other amazing things have occurred. And then Saturday just added to that. So had a chance to interview Dr. Jermaine Johnson, candidate for South Carolina governor.
Very cool.
In a one-on-one. Jamil had to join in through Zoom, but it was he and I in the studio and his beautiful wife. It is hands down, Barrett, the best episode we have ever done. This awesome. Is the finest hour of podcasting I could ever hope to achieve. This would win the awards. It was so much fun, so natural talking to him, so interesting. I am just absolutely proud and cannot wait for you to hear it when it releases on Wednesday. And then you've got to watch the videos as well. He was caught off guard. He did not know what he was walking into on this show. And I will also mention that in that episode, Preach Jacobs and SoulHAUS got a mention.
Oh,
I'll just leave that as a teaser. Yeah.
Very cool.
In a way you would not have expected.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that is a teaser because I want you to tell me, but I can certainly wait till, Wednesday when the show.
Yeah. Just disconnect tomorrow. Go back in the woods, disconnect for another 24 hours. And when you come back, you can hear all about it.
Wouldn't that be an accomplishment? That would be an accomplishment.
2 times in a week. That's a major accomplishment. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was amazing. But then right after that, we hauled ass about 20 miles away to our annual banquet. So the local Democratic Party here in Greenwood holds a banquet every year. This year we sold 250 tickets at $50 a pop.
Wow.
For a fundraiser. This is in Red Greenwood. 250 packed an auditorium, served meals, had speakers, and we had Sylvia Wright, who's running for superintendent of education, but the keynote speaker was Dr. Jermaine Johnson.
Okay.
And he delivered an out of the park speech. I mean, it went on for a good 30 minutes. Off the top of his head, no notes, not a single word was dull. Phenomenally fascinating. I'll send you the link. I'm uploading all the videos to the YouTube channel right now so you can watch and see for yourself. I got a chance to introduce him. So I was the MC for the evening.
That's cool.
So I introduced Jermaine Johnson with an original slam poem that I wrote that had everybody standing, cheering, stomping, and chanting as he walked to the podium to give his speech. He didn't know what to do. He had never experienced that before.
Tell me,
and it was amazing.
The episode does your slam poetry make it into the episode?
Well, no, I recorded the episode before the event, but maybe the subsequent.
I know.
Maybe the subsequent episode with Jamil will do some observations from that. It was a highlight. I've always had this fantasy, Barrett, of public speaking and getting a crowd to stand and cheer. Like that was my I have a dream speech, not to equate myself with the civil rights movement by any stretch.
Sure, of course.
But it was that type of energy, like a rock star. It was that one brief 2-minute moment I felt like a rock star, and I will remember and cherish that forever.
That is very cool. Well, I look forward to that, but I also I'm thinking that after your episode drops on Wednesday, that maybe Wednesday night's show you can do a reenactment of your
how about you just play it? It'll be on YouTube. You can play it.
We can do that. All right, we'll do that.
I am not going to reenact it to one person. This is a crowd poem, not a Barrett poem.
You'd be surprised how many poems could be Barrett poems.
If I acted the same way in front of you, like I did in front of 250 people, it would not come across as good. I promise. You would look at me in horror.
I would get your geolocation tag, and we would notify the ambulance and whatnot that you've had a stroke, and we'll let them take care of that. And now you're silent. That's okay.
No, not a stroke. But hey, again, black, white, and blue in the South. If you've not been a listener before, Wednesday morning, I've already edited the show and uploaded it. I'm like 2 days ahead of schedule with my editing. That's came awesome. Home and I went right to editing, and I couldn't stop. It was so good.
That's awesome. Well, I truly look forward to that. That is exciting. So, did you want to talk about any of the stuff that's gone on in the days since?
I'm sorry. Has stuff happened? Has anything happened? I don't know.
Well, let's see.
All right, let's do this on a scale of 1 to 10. How disappointed are you in 8 Democratic senators.
Extremely disappointed.
Exactly.
I am the fact that and what I'm hearing from people that are on that have inside information is that this was not because initially when I saw it, I was like, well, those 8 Democrats aren't up for re-election. Schumer must have put them up to it so we could go ahead and just get the government reopened. I thought for sure that that's what it was. No, Schumer apparently was completely against it. He has said as much. And it looks like these were just rogue Democrats that ultimately caved. And it's extremely disappointing. So as of today, we are on day 41. So by the time most people are hearing this, it's day 42 of the shutdown. It has not ended yet. So 8 Democratic senators, and we're talking about Tim Kaine of what is he? Virginia, Maryland,
Virginia.
John Fetterman, of course. I mean, duh.
John Fetterman is getting me more furious every time he opens his damn mouth. You know what he said on this one? He says, Democrats should be quiet and just take the win. What fucking win is he talking about?
I don't know.
Where's the win in this? What did we win? We won a promise. That's what we got.
Yeah.
That's what the Senate Democrats held out for 40 days for, was a promise from Republican leadership that there would be a vote sometime in December. And you know what that promise is worth? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Here's the worst part. Not even, it's not the worst part. The worst part is the fact that the very, very likely the ACA subsidies are going to end come January 1st. People's premiums are going to skyrocket. I mean, we're talking in some cases 50 to 100% on how much the cost of them just having the ACA.
What do you mean by going to skyrocket? Aren't we seeing them skyrocket already? Isn't that already happening? I'm seeing reports that it's tripling and quadrupling for some people that I know.
So now that I can't speak to. I just know that when the subsidies end on December 31st, that for people that are signing up for the ACA benefits, if they're going to the marketplace right now and they're signing up for them, they are and maybe that's what it is. They're seeing the cost of what those premiums are going to be.
That's what it is.
When they start, when it resets on January 1st. So next step on the floor where, let's see. So 8 Democrat senators voted yay on the motion to proceed, which is the first step. So the next step will be on the floor where amendments and negotiations can be made on the bill. This has a minimum of 30 hours. So only 51 votes are required to move it to the next step, which basically the Republicans already have enough votes to just move it to the next step without any amendments being, negotiated. Then the vote for closure, which requires 60 votes again. So this will send it to then the final vote, which is again 51 votes, which will then send it to Trump's desk if it's clean. If it does have any amendments to it, it has to go back to the House, which means the House has to be in session, which, by the way, House has not been in session now since September 23rd.
Hey, I thought I saw some breaking news.
Oh.
Hold on. Sorry. My wife is trying to call me.
That's right.
If she wants me, she can come up to the office and knock on the door. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You're good.
Yeah, it stopped recording for half a second when my phone started ringing.
That's not a problem because it's all going live anyway.
Okay.
So
where was I?
So
yeah. Didn't I see some breaking news earlier that Mike Johnson has agreed to seat that one House representative from Arizona?
Yep, I did see that. In fact, I think I wrote that down somewhere. Maybe I didn't, but yeah. So essentially, yes, she is. He is supposed to seat her. They are supposed to. Supposedly, the House is going to open back up. She will be the 218th signature on the petition. So the countdown clock. So there, and it doesn't mean anything's conspiratorial or anything, but the countdown clock on the Epstein files, as far as all of the testimony from grand jury victims and things like that, the likelihood is that is probably going to wind up getting released.
Don't you think that it's already been redacted to death or edited or whatnot?
Yeah,
that like by this point they've bought so much time. What has it been, over 40 days, right? Of time before she was been seated, since she was duly elected.
Yeah.
They can just release it and it'll be all edited and we won't see anything of it anyway.
Well, and if we don't, we don't, but at least it will be out. So
Right.
it's going to be redacted. We know that Trump's name likely has been redacted from it, that they're going to claim, the Republicans, Mike Johnson, they will claim that Donald Trump was never in it. This isn't a big deal, and they'll highlight, here's Bill Clinton's name. Here's Bill Gates's name. Here's
fine. Show it.
Yeah. Who cares?
Show it. Let's see it.
About it. But at the
Windows
same
is
time,
already too expensive and annoying. Let's see that guy's name on it.
But regardless, so you have Johnson's going to swear her in, and then we also have the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is now publicly asking for Donald Trump to commute her sentence. So you have these two things taking place at the same time. You
brought up something. I saw a comment in one of those Facebook posts where somebody confused two different things. Somebody confused the victims who stood on the steps right there in DC and said that they were victims and they said they had details and all that, right?
Yeah.
With Ghislaine Maxwell, who said, I didn't see anything. This person said the victim stood on the steps and said they didn't see Trump do anything. Like they just took those two things, blended them together, and came up with the exact opposite story to tell.
Yeah.
And I didn't even bother replying to it because what are you going to do? Correct somebody? And they're going to go like, okay. It is just insane.
I was accused. So I don't remember what it was that I posted on my stories on Facebook or whatever. But when I see videos that I think are, I don't know, interesting or whatever, I will throw them up on your story thing, and it comes up and people can click on it or tab on it or whatever and watch it. I got a response from someone who ultimately I didn't think paid any attention to me, but we were friends in high school. Well, we weren't really friends. We were mutually in the same building at the same time, and somehow we're Facebook friends. But she has come forward more and more lately as being staunchly against anything that I post. And rather than comment in the comment section, now she just sends me messages and tells me, I think the last one I don't have in front of me, basically told me that I was a fear-mongering crock of shit or something like that.
I mean, you are, but that's not the point.
Yeah. I don't think I'm fear-mongering.
Oh, you are. I'm afraid every time I get on the air with you. You send me out of here kind of shaking in my boots.
Fair enough.
Hey, I've got a similar story. It's even sadder. I'm a living kidney donor. Right. I donated a kidney to save a woman's life 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
That woman turned out, and I don't know if she became or always was, turned out to be ultra MAGA. And on my Facebook page, she started commenting here and there with incorrect information. Then she started messaging me directly to explain why tariffs are good. I was like, I don't want to hear from you. But what broke the camel's back was one of my friends from high school had commented under one of my posts that she has fear for her sons who are adopted from Guatemala. So they're South American looking. She says, I'm nervous for my sons. They're college age. She was kind of scared about ICE pulling them over, detaining them without due process, like is happening all over the nation. And my recipient of my kidney came on and laughed at her comment and told her she was just fear-mongering, using that exact same phrase. And at that point I said, listen, you just came on and told a mama not to be scared for her kids, and you laughed at her. Says, I can't have any relationship with you, and I had to terminate it. So now we don't speak to each other or know anything about her, and she's walking around with my body part. And it's just like, I don't begrudge saving a life. I mean, that part I don't begrudge, but I'm just, it's like, it's a bummer that I couldn't have had a decent relationship with this individual, and this person just turned sour. It wasn't a political opinion. This was a personal opinion.
Yeah.
And the person was just a jerk.
Well, let me ask you then, in that situation, so because
can I get my kidney back? I've asked. Yes. Oh, yeah. I've sought through the hospital. Can I, take backers here? And they said, no takey backies. They said that's not allowed.
Well, so, but let me ask. So, because I'm not the type of person that will close off that relationship on Facebook, because I just don't care that much. Like
well, when they start, if I came on and started insulting your mother, right, on your feed, you would cut it off.
It depends. Are they funny insults? Is it? Sorry, Mom. No, but I mean, like, but
I
I
think it's
will.
when she crossed the line and started insulting a friend,
Yeah,
that's when I said, yeah, you're beyond commenting on my opinion. You're
that's fair.
now insulting people that had no business receiving your shrapnel.
That's fair. But I'm not the type of person to like close somebody off on Facebook or social media, because I find no value in any of the Facebook or Twitters or whatever. I ultimately, those aren't real relationships to me. But but in a discussion with another friend, a mutual friend outside of that, she and I have talked about it, and she's like, I really feel like I need to block that individual, because the one that commented to me in a message is the same person that completely blows up on anything she posts. So
Right.
like, but neither one of us has crossed that line to say we're just gonna disconnect from them. We're gonna block them or whatever. But I've never been that person. So I wonder, do did you make the decision? I mean, did you actually go through the actions of cutting them off, of breaking any sort of connection with them?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I wrote to her directly and said, listen, I do not feel it is good for me to have any contact with you anymore.
Yeah.
I said,
So
in fact, I mean, at first I said, I believe you crossed the line, and I explained what I thought was wrong.
yeah.
And then when she doubled down and then started criticizing me further, I said, listen, then this is where we have to part ways.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your life, and I don't need to deal with you anymore.
Yeah. So the message that was sent to me, it says, "You are such a crock, fear-mongering moron, bless your heart." So, and I didn't see this. It came to me last Thursday. I didn't respond to it because I was camping and I didn't see it. So, I responded to her today after I saw it. I said, "I'm sorry that I have upset you so much that insulting my intelligence is your reaction. If it's better for you, why don't we just disconnect and go our separate ways? Like, we
Hey,
don't
what was
have
that
any
big
relationship."
rambling you sent me earlier today? That long diatribe that had me cracking up.
That was
I mean,
something somebody I don't I
that
don't
was some
remember.
William Faulkner like stream of consciousness, no punctuation, just a bunch of words pouring out of their mouth diatribe.
Yeah,
That
and
was something spectacular.
I don't remember exactly. We were talking about Cash Patel. It was a short of us talking about Cash Patel using the private jet to go on a date to watch his.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I found out. So it wasn't $6 million or $60 million in cost. He used a $60 million private jet. Okay, I will concede. Yes, you are the director of the FBI.
No,
You
but he
can't.
had that jet built under his direction so he can go take his date out. You missed
Oh,
that.
see, I didn't. Yeah,
He
I
had
didn't.
that jet commissioned, and then they threw it away after the date. So
Oh,
it was a complete $60 million just burnt up in the air. It was
see,
a one time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just burning money over there. It's
Well,
crazy.
Auto Pen Joe. I'm going to throw his name out there
How many
because
people do you think I was serious? People out there like already
yeah, probably.
furiously typing away on their keyboards.
But
Auto
let's see.
Pen Joe. Let's
Yeah,
talk about him.
Auto Pen Joe. His response to us talking about Cash Patel using a private jet to go watch his girlfriend apparently sing the national anthem. This was the whole thing. He went to go see her sing the national anthem at some event of some sort. Uh, I've seen a picture of her. The picture I saw of her, she literally looks like the what you would imagine, um, like at a Halloween store, like the costume of MAGA Barbie. She looks like what would be put on the front of the costume for MAGA Barbie. So that's what we talked about.
So
Anyway.
when they gaze into each other's eyes, which one does she look at? Which is she staring at the left one or is she staring at the right one? What does she do when they gaze lovingly?
How does she even know he's looking at her?
Yeah.
That's what anyway, but the response we got was just this stream of lack of consciousness is what I'm going to call it. Because he's talking about he says the FBI is the one who actually is responsible for January 16th. I don't know what happened on January 16th. I'm not aware of anything that happened on January 16th. What year was this January 16th event?
It was the 10-day reunion of the January 6th event. I mean, you missed that.
Had to have
yeah.
But he said that he says, yeah, I'm reading this verbatim, so this is difficult. The FBI, the one who actually responsible for the January 16th that you're talking about, it was on his order to send in the FBI in plain clothes to cause the disturbance that happened that day, has been proven. You can't deny it. I don't want to hear it, but same goes with the jet. I don't want to hear it. You're reaching at fucking straws because you don't care for the man, but you know nothing about. There's no periods. There's no punctuations. It is just this rambling. And
you know what I would love to see is that copied and pasted into AI and have like AI lady read it out loud, or an AI voice interpret it. I want to hear that in a British accent. I want to hear that in a Southern drawl. I want to hear a little kid say that. I want to hear it in like 100 different voices. I could listen to it all day as like that. It'll be my ASMR. I want to fall asleep listening to 100 different voices read that diatribe out loud.
My cousin Pat chimed in on that bless your heart.
Hey, cousin Pat.
Yeah. Says that bless your heart at the end always cracks me up, like it excuses them from every shitty unchristian thing they just finished saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Well, yeah, I don't know. It was disconnecting from all of it for the weekend was nice. I did get,
and look what you missed out on. You had to get caught up on all of that when you could have had that live.
Well, the government shut down. I was going to talk about Donald Trump also ordering a full, we can talk about it Thursday, but ordering a full, complete and unconditional pardon for basically 70 something of his friends and lawyers that all almost completely tried to, like, the only fraud that happened with the election in 2020, I mean, was pretty much the slate of electors that they tried to install to overwrite the will of the people. So we could have talked about that. Supreme Court basically said they don't give a shit about hearing anything from what's her name, Kim Davis out of Kentucky, or the lawsuit that she filed. So marriage equality is secure for now. You know,
how loathsome of an individual do you have to be that even this Supreme Court doesn't want to hear your ass, right? Exactly. I mean, this is a Supreme Court that's pretty much gutted what the United States was, and still they don't want to hear from this troll. So yeah. Good riddance.
Yeah, I'm also going to hold Donald Trump to his floating the idea of using the revenue created by tariffs to send every single American $2,000 this year. So I'm looking for 10 grand from Donald Trump this year. That was another one. Yeah.
Ridiculous. And so many people got online and immediately said, see, we told you God loved Donald Trump. And then 6 months later, when those checks never appear, they've completely forgotten about that. They forgot about their Doge refunds. They forgot about their tariff bonuses. They've forgotten about all of this stuff.
Now,
forget it.
The reality is that Donald Trump is sitting at about 34% to 37% approval rating. He has a strong disapproval of, according to the Quinnipiac, of, I want to say it was like 49% strong disapproval. He has a 54% disapproval rating. Like his numbers continue to drop. Like they said, it dropped 13 points in the last month and a half.
Oh, that $2,000 a person was already spent in Mar-a-Lago with 1920s clappers dancing in martini bowls, oversized martini drinks, for this luxury party that he threw. Forget about it. Yeah. We are living in the dumbest timeline, like I always say.
Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, we should probably wrap it up. But we'll come back on Thursday, and
hell of an episode, Barrett. Good job. Yeah. Seems like you're looking at more comments. Read them to me.
Yeah. Freckle Face 1981 says we're still waiting for our checks from Soros. So I can concur.
Yeah, get in line. I want those checks first.
I am more angry at George Soros right now than almost anybody else because
damn it,
I've not gotten my check. It's extremely disappointing. So
I am not showing up to any more protests until I get my checks.
You know what? I'm gonna show up to protests, and I'm gonna have a very small pen that says "disappointed in Soros." I'm gonna make sure I include that.
We had No Kings protest here in Greenwood recently. As they did all over the state. And even for like the 150 that showed up here, there were posts online that they saw buses at the local restaurant. Or no, it was at the library. Somebody said, I saw their buses at the library. It's like, why would you get online and just utter complete bullshit like that?
Right. Yeah.
Why?
attention. Like they're not getting enough attention. And you know what? And then next episode I absolutely want to talk about having to do holiday get-togethers with family members that are.
Well, listen, Wednesday, I'm planning on disconnecting from the internet entirely all day. So I may be here, maybe not. We'll see what, if you're in a tree somewhere in the woods where I'll be staying, we can talk. But otherwise,
we'll do it.
I'm going to be disconnected.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. All right. Well, big thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can follow Bill at Political Bill SC and myself at Barrett Gruber. Thanks for liking and hitting that bell. And if you can, give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening and leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.